死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなに家賃が多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君、まだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ、万歳、ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
何度トライドまで。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界、季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだった。大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコ掴んでいいさ。そう。やらせるで。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy to see all of you here today. And we have a lot to talk about because President Trump continues to fumble the Epstein situation. Sorry, I got hiccups. He continues to fumble the Epstein situation. And it is just, there's no possible way to defend this. There's not. Now, I want to be clear because we do have a lot of single issue voters that have been showing up lately. And I think that they believe that I'm almost there. Guys, he's almost there. Jeremy's almost there. He's gonna turn on Trump and all of that. And I have bad news for all of them. That is not happening. I'm not turning on President Trump. Not happening. But I do have strong criticisms for President Trump. But I have good news for all of the libertarians in the chat. For all of you, your hero, Chase, what's his name? Oliver, he's waiting for you. He's got his strap on and he's waiting for you. So libertarians that are criticizing Trump, this is your hero right here. So until you deal with that, you have zero standing to criticize President Trump. Just want to go ahead and point that out. So again, for the people that have actually supported Trump and credited him for all of this time, you all have very valid criticisms that should carry weight. But people that have cried about President Trump for the last 10 years, they don't get to be listened to now because that there's valid criticisms to be leveled against President Trump. If you've been crying about him for a decade, I don't give a shit what you have to say today. Doesn't matter. It means absolutely nothing. But here we are now where this is impossible to defend. The way he's acting and the way that the administration has treated this Epstein situation is impossible to defend. Okay. And so, we're going to go over all of that. And I want to make it clear once again, because there's a lot of YouTubers and MAGA people and all of that I think don't have as much credibility as they think they do to talk about a lot of this because of how they've acted recently. But my criticisms of the Trump administration over this entire situation are specifically about the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files and the Epstein story since President Trump took office back earlier this year. Their handling of this has been a disaster. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to twist it or to spin it. It is a massive, massive disaster. And I can't figure out how they continue to end up in this situation. So right here, this is what Trump said a little bit earlier, and we're going to listen to it here in just a minute. Let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Packet Proton says someone in the deep state had to have threatened him. This and the Ukraine arms stuff is complete 180. I don't believe that. I don't believe that I do not believe that at all. Gerald Armstrong says Trump crashed out hard on True Social. Keenan says, did you see the Australia movie Animal Kingdom? They base it the American series on it. I'm watching Animal Kingdom right now, the series, and I'm very much enjoying it. So it's really good. Jessica, thank you for dropping that link to the t-shirt. Let me pin that really quick. There we go. Let's see. Inner Stinker says, after Trump's past supporters comment, I'm done. Okay. I mean, you're welcome to be done. But if you're what is the alternative if you're a Trump supporter and you're done? What is the alternative? You gonna support Chase Oliver, the gay libertarian? You're gonna support Kamala Harris, AOC? What's the alternative? Be pissed off and be frustrated, but to say you're done, what? What are you gonna do? You're gonna vote for Kamala Harris? You're gonna vote for AOC? Oh, you're gonna vote for Rand Paul 2028? Oh, that is a good one right there. Rand Paul, the man that couldn't even beat Jeb fucking Bush in the primaries, but you're going to vote for Rand Paul. Okay, go for that one. Keena says, did you see the show Tyrant? It aired on FX. I have not seen that one. Anthony Rodriguez says, don't you all find it odd that after having custody over the Epstein list for 12 years under Obama and Biden, all of a sudden the Dems are eager to release the list? This has deep state written all over it. It has Trump's incompetency written all over it. That's what it has. And this is the juggling act that I'm going to have to deal with. So on one hand, I'm going to have the hyperbole of, I'm done with Trump because he said one thing I don't like. Okay, that's insane, but okay. But on the other hand, you're like, Trump's done nothing wrong. This is all the Democrats in the deep state. And it's like, no, Trump has done plenty wrong in this situation. Trump has done plenty wrong in this situation. This is not all the deep state Democrats, all of that. It's just not. And I am going to have a more level-headed, logical approach to all of this. Aaron says, towards Jeremy's chill pill fund. Gerald Armstrong says, Jeremy, Trump doesn't want you as a supporter. The thing is, Gerald, I don't give a fuck if Trump wants me as a supporter. And that's the difference between me and most MAGA influencers, is most MAGA influencers wanted Daddy Trump's attention. They wanted to go to Mar-a-Lago. They wanted to go to the events. They wanted to have the press passes. They wanted to go to the White House and take pictures. And I've never given a fuck about any of that. I've never given a shit about it. I don't care about being an influencer or going to fucking events and having access. I've never given a shit about that. And that's the difference between me and all of these other clowns. I don't give a shit. I want Trump to do a good job, which he has done a good job until he's gotten to this Epstein situation. It means not, like, in terms of me and my personal stake in having access to the administration, I've never given a shit about that. Crimson Raptor says, I agree with Trump. I must be stupid. Let's see. I'm an IDOT watching CobraCast 199. Now that is absolutely accurate. Ranger One Gaming says, Jeremy, hot or sweet peppers on roast beef sandwich? Neither. I don't like peppers. Mike's says, I agree with their handling is a disaster, and I hate it to be the resident realist, but what can we do? Let Democrats win after Trump closed the border completely? Let things revert? What do we do? Well, I mean, for me, keep complaining, and keep putting the pressure up, because this is what Trump is pissed off about right now. Is he has got it in his mind that he's tired of the noise. Well, Trump, that's tough, because you're going to continue to face a lot of noise. Let's listen to what Trump says right here.
Mr. President, I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your attorney general told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen?
No, it's not the attorney general. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats.
Now, again, this is where Trump, you are 100% wrong. Your own administration, again, I feel like a broken record. If it's a hoax, President Trump, which it's not, if it's a hoax, then can you explain this to me, President Trump? Can you please explain this image right here, if it's a hoax? Your own administration, with you present, your own attorney general that you stand by and you say has done a fantastic job, decided to release this nonsensical influencer binder. Explain that to me if it's a hoax. Also, President Trump, if it's a hoax, do you mind explaining this one to me, President Trump? If it's a hoax, can you maybe explain this one to me?
You really think the Clintons are involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? I have no idea. I know he was on his plane 27 times, and he said he was on the plane 4 times. But when they checked the plane log, Bill Clinton, who was a very good friend of Epstein, he was on the plane about 27 or 28 times. So why did he say 4 times? And then the question you have to ask is, did Bill Clinton go to the island? Because Epstein had an island that was not a good place, as I understand it, and I was never there. So you have to ask, did Bill Clinton go to the island? That's the question.
By the way, whoever puts this music in these videos, I hope that you slam your big toe in the door. Like, I fucking hate people that put this stupid fucking music on these videos. And it's usually the TikTok generation that does that shit, okay? So I hope you slam your big toe in the doorway. I really do. Because you are the worst people you're almost as bad as the people that drive in the left lane slow. No one is worse than those people, for the record. People that drive in the left lane slow are the single worst human beings on the entire planet. A close second are people that put the TikTok music into videos where it's not needed. Okay? Just want to make that very clear. So let's go back to Trump talking about this hoax that, again, it's such a bad look for him to keep saying this.
Traded by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city. It's I call it the Epstein hoax. Takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including in the Middle East. I mean,
so a lot of the points Trump is making is, I do understand what he's trying to say, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he's trying to say. He's already said way too much in terms of contradicting his previous statements about this. There is no excuse for his handling and his administration's handling of this. There's none. Now, I want to be clear. I am not a single issue beta male loser voter. Okay. So I am not, saying I'm not supporting Trump anymore. For the people that are thinking Jeremy's going to be on our side now, I'm not going to be on your fucking gay side. All right. I am still a Trump supporter. I still support President Trump 100%. So anybody who thinks that I am close to joining your side, go watch Dave fucking Smith. Okay. Because he will flip flop as much as you will. That ain't me. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm also going to be critical of him. And the fact that people say that the Trump crowd is a cultist crowd and that we all follow Trump, all this stuff. Your entire narrative has been destroyed by the Epstein situation. Your entire narrative, because Trump himself has said everybody needs to shut up about it. Do you know what Trump supporters are doing? Fuck you. We're going to talk about it even more now because you're not going to tell us what to do because we are fed up with this shit. And he has continued to mess this situation up as badly as you possibly could. I just saw a clip from Benny Johnson. Colin Rugg posted it. Hang on. Where the fuck did it go? Colin Rugg posted this. Benny Johnson says the way the Trump administration is handling the Epstein matter is abysmal. Plays footage of Trump beginning his political career talking about Epstein. Is that the clip that I just showed? Wasn't planning on playing this clip, but it's here, so why not? Donald Trump began his political career talking about Epstein. Let's listen to what Benny Johnson has to say.
This was not like an Epstein show. We weren't doing deep dives. I know it was something.
That's the same as me. I was never an Epstein person. I was never like a release the Epstein files person. That's never what I was about. I never followed this story overly close. Donald Trump and his administration's disastrous handling of this it's been the greatest backfire I've ever seen. You have made this story bigger than it would have ever been otherwise. Like, if they just would have shut up about it, and never mentioned anything about this fucking list, we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
We were concerned about, and it's something that we covered with regularity when there was information that was brought up. So much of that information brought up was by President Trump. And it's just an important thing to make sure that you're not living in bizarro world as a massive Trump supporter who has spent hundreds of thousands of hours on live streams, obviously advocating for these policies and these administrations, defending the administration. In fact, the most viral clips on the Epstein topic has come from this show because it's a winning topic, frankly. And we spent the entire first hour explaining why.
Well, Trump often talks about like the transgender issue in men and women's sports. And he's like, it's like a 80-20 or 90-10 issue. I think it's more like a 99-1 issue. And I also feel that the Epstein situation is a 99-1 issue. 99% of all people would want the Epstein list released, and they want justice for the people involved. The 1% of people that don't want it, I can give you one guess as to what those people are into. It's a 99-1 issue. And Trump doesn't see it.
And I wasn't planning on playing this clip, but, well, it's here, so why not? Donald Trump began his political career talking about Jeffrey Epstein. We'll just play it very quickly here. Like, bringing this into the public arena was President Trump. That's a matter of historic record. It's not up for debate. I'm saying that's a good thing. Like, yes, thank you for doing this. Donald Trump, it was 10 years ago, a decade ago.
I know what clip he's about to play. He's probably about to play the one where he's talking about Bill Clinton. And by the way, Donald Trump, President Trump, your own vice president has called for the Epstein files to be released. Your own son, Donald Trump Jr., has called for the Epstein files to be released. Alina Habba, your former spokesperson, called for the Epstein files to be released and said it was disgusting. Your own FBI director called for it to be released before he became FBI director. The deputy director said it should be released. The people within your fucking administration and your family said this should be released.
On stage, before anybody ever heard of Prince Andrew or Bill Clinton and Epstein Island, no one knew about those things. Donald Trump's like, these people are monsters and they deserve to be called out. And I'm running against one of the families who's totally implicated here, the Clintons. And this is what Trump said at the time.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island
with Jeffrey Epstein.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think
with
he's got a
Sean.
problem. I mean,
What do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
nobody ever heard of Bill Clinton on a predator island before Donald Trump brought it up.
The mainstream didn't anyway.
Or Prince Andrew. And it's commendable because Donald Trump was right. Bill Clinton did go to that island. There's tons of evidence of that, including but not limited to the victim testimony. And of course, Prince Andrew paying 10 million plus pound sums in order to silence victims. I mean, Trump was telling us before anybody knew about this. So when I say that this is a problem of the administration's making, well, I mean, there's an enormous amount of evidence to back that up.
See, a lot of people are sad that this is happening. I'm not so much sad. I'm actually pretty happy that this is playing out the way it's playing out, because we are learning right now that MAGA is not an echo chamber. We're learning that MAGA is showing you exactly why it's the greatest political movement of all time, and nothing can come close to it. MAGA is showing why it will go well beyond Trump. That is what I'm seeing in this situation more than anything. Am I disappointed in the Trump's administration's handling? Absolutely. Is it mind-blowing that Donald Trump is handling it this badly? Absolutely. But I'm not sad by it. I'm actually happy that we are showing that unlike the libertarians that fight more than women fight with each other and can never agree on a single fucking subject, MAGA is showing why it's the greatest political movement of all time. And that is what I take away from all of this. And hopefully Trump will eventually listen. But MAGA is showing why MAGA is number one.
We don't run a channel here to talk nonstop about Epstein. It's certainly a topic that we cover along with thousands of other topics. But the DOJ memo that was released last Sunday forced the hands of people who cover the topics of import and note on the internet, because people said, what the hell with this memo? Given the preponderance of clips and evidence, and here's an article where Jeffrey Epstein brags about being a CIA agent. Just one article. It's just one piece of example. And so, it's the point I'm trying to make here is that it's the administration and their handling of this, which is why everyone's talking about it. It didn't have to be handled this way. It's been abysmal. And people aren't satisfied. And that's what all available polling shows. And there's so much evidence that the government has that could be released to engage in the pressure release valve. Whether it's weather modification, JFK, Russiagate, as we have. I find it stingingly ironic. Thank you for that article. I find it stingingly ironic that Trump compares all of these things to these hoaxes, and the reason we know they're hoaxes is because evidence was released. I don't believe Trump is guilty of anything. I don't.
Neither do I.
I don't, because I know these monsters that had fought Trump and tried to put a bullet through his head on live TV. They would have released everything. If there was a single scintilla of incriminating evidence against Donald Trump in there, it would be out in the public. You know it. You watched it happen with
so I don't believe Trump is guilty of anything like that. Let's see. Interstinker says, I know, Jeremy, I only started voting because of Trump. Well, again, man, if you're done supporting MAGA because of one issue, then I suggest the Libertarian Party, because that's what they're all about. No human being in your life is ever you're not going to agree with any human being 100% of the time. It's not reality. Do you agree with Donald Trump 90% of the time, 95% of the time? If that's not good enough for people, then I'm not sure what you're doing, but I think the criticism is valid, and I think we should continue the criticism. because their handling of this has been a disaster. Let's see. Dog, this is a huge issue. Well, no shit, it's a huge issue, motherfucker. So is illegal immigration. So is the economy. Is illegal immigration not a huge issue to you? Because I personally consider, as a person that goes and spends time in the United States of America and watching my country just completely disappear right before my very eyes, to the point where I feel like a minority in my own fucking country at times, I think shutting the border down and having it locked down completely is a major fucking win. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that this isn't a huge issue. It's absolutely a huge issue. But emotionally weak people that are going to jump the ship off one issue will always turn on you. They will always turn on you. So there's no need to pander to people that are single issue voters, because they will always turn on you, because they will always justify their actions and based off one issue, no matter what it is. They will always do that. Warbear says, I'm voting Beardo X-Wing 2028. Munchie Ninja for 50. For 50. And I have never said that word wrong before. But if I did say that word wrong, there's a few people that would probably stop supporting me. But I've never said that word in traffic or, playing video games or anything like that. But anyway, for 50 says, me this past week, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Anyways, Band of Brothers watch party win. I want to start that very soon. It's just that the news cycle is crazy right now. So the plan is for us to do that over on Locals at some point. But yeah, the news cycle is just keeping me so busy. So I'm, as soon as I can get some free time, we're going to do it. Ryan Miller says, in my opinion, the Trump administration should not have to carry the sins of the past administration on the situation, but he needs to pull himself together and set things right and releasing the correct info. So, my criticisms of the Trump administration have zero to do with previous administrations and has everything to do with the Trump administration. Now, other people probably are criticizing Trump for other things, but I can only talk about what my criticisms are. And my criticisms are specifically with what the Trump administration has done in this situation. Now, like, I see this right here, okay? PSA for everyone who's still living under the delusion. The hoax isn't that Jeffrey Epstein was a horrible criminal. That's why President Trump already had him and his co-trafficker prosecuted and put in prison. The hoax is that the giant internet conspiracy theory of him having a magic tell-all list and videos of powerful people that he was blackmailing turns out to be to not exist. If anything like it ever did exist, it was destroyed a long time ago. Maybe you're right on this topic, but Trump is the reason people are confused about it. If this is Trump's point, Trump, the best communicator and marketer we've ever seen, has done a disastrous job of conveying that message to his followers and the general public. And that's the problem. Because if you go back to what he says right here in this, their new scam is that we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters will have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. This is, his messaging is horrifically bad. So it's almost like anything else. It's almost like in a movie, okay? It's almost like in a movie where it's, you know how you have the Snyder fans that tell you, you're just too dumb to understand Zack Snyder's genius storytelling, so I will break it down to you here on Twitter. Well, if Zack Snyder was a good enough filmmaker, he could tell the story where people could get it instead of a Twitter user having to explain the genius of Zack Snyder's storytelling. If Donald Trump would have done a better job of expressing his opinion and his thoughts on this, I wouldn't need a random Twitter MAGA user to tell me what he meant. So it still falls on Donald Trump. It still falls on Trump. Now, again, I will go back to, are you happy that illegal immigration is being dealt with? Are you happy with everything that Trump has done up to this point, with the exception of the Jeffrey Epstein thing? I am. I'm very happy with everything Trump has done up to this point. And I wish that this thing wasn't such a distraction, but it is. And you know why it is? Because the Trump's administration's handling of it. That's why it's such a problem. That's why. And anybody denying that isn't, they're just not willing to be honest. Darth Manic for 50 says, every time I take a shot, I always drink to something. Watching the show on my TV, I just took a shot to you, since it's my weekend, that you don't drink at all that you do and have built. Mad respect, my man. Hail MAGA and release the files. Thank you, Darth Manic, for the $50. And yes, I do not drink alcohol, but I drink water. I drink water. Thank you, sir. Hail to you, brother. Appreciate the support. I couldn't do it without the people, and that's the bottom line. I could not do it without the people. Anthony Rodriguez says, if Trump releases the list tomorrow, do we trust it not being tampered with or compromised? I feel at this point, neither side would be satisfied with its content. Yeah, that's an interesting question that I don't really have a good answer to, because they've done such a bad job and such a poor job of this. I don't think releasing things tomorrow would make people feel good either. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino need to do a press conference. They need to stand there and they need to take questions for at least an hour. Because, listen, man, Dan Bongino understands the internet, at least to an extent. I don't know if he understands it as well as maybe some people think he does, but like Dan Bongino gets the internet, okay? And I think that everything is relative to your situation. So like for me, okay, I felt that I made a mistake several years ago as the leader of Geeks and Gamers. I felt like I made a mistake. And I put our community in a terrible situation that ultimately backfired. And that was when I decided to, do that, charity event with Zack Snyder. And it backfired. We raised a lot of money for Zack Snyder's charity. Zack Snyder came on a stream, basically denounced Geeks and Gamers as a hate group. There were mistakes made prior to that with like a charity website, and our name was on the bottom. I knew nothing about that, but it doesn't matter because I'm the leader and everything falls on my shoulders. So even though I didn't know about it, I still had to take responsibility for that not being addressed. Snyder was upset about that. Warner Brothers was upset about that. He denounced us in front of our whole fucking community, called us a hate group, and it was awful. So I went live on Geeks and Gamers immediately after, which was another bad decision. Should not have went live. Because not for me, but because I brought my team into it too, and everybody was still kind of reeling from the whole thing. Then as soon as my stream ended, I jumped on another YouTuber's channel, Ethan Van Sciver, and I knew they were criticizing me. I knew they were giving me hell over there. And so I jumped over there, and for 2 hours, I got absolutely roasted by his chat. Super chats, just ripping me apart, calling me every name in the book. And do you know why I sat there and dealt with it? Because the internet was mad, and they needed to take it out on somebody, and I was the one responsible for it. So I took my lumps. And that's what you have to do in those situations. I fucked up. People were mad. They needed someone to, focus all that fire at. And so I just sat there and got ripped apart for 2 hours, just getting called every fucking thing in the book. And that's how you have to do it. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they need to stand up in front of the press, not the mainstream press, the MAGA press, the press that MAGA has brought to the White House, and take every question from every MAGA influencer that they have brought into their little press thing and answer the questions to the best of their ability as transparently as they can. You do that, and you've at least started the healing process. But until then, if you don't go full transparent like that and take the fire of the people that are pissed off, then you can't expect anybody to believe anything that's going to happen. So Trump can release the fucking list tomorrow, but everybody's going to go, you're hiding something. Why have you been acting like this? Why have you been acting like that? Nobody's going to buy it. If you can't sit there and take the heat based on your own actions, nobody's going to believe anything. So, and I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. But, you know, it is what it is. So we'll see. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Very, very much. JMNZZ450 says, we got a Return of the Jedi ending. Thought we were going into the Thrawn trilogy, but it looks like we are heading towards The Force Awakens and possibly The Last Jedi. Trump needs to unfuck this. Also, I'm going to stop supporting you if you don't use that word more. Unfuck. Thank you, JMNZZ450. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it is on Trump to unfuck this. And I don't know, like, I obviously don't have the details as to how we've ended up here. No one does outside of the administration. But when you have people like Benny Johnson, even Charlie Kirk, even though I know he said he was going to stop talking about it, you know, Charlie Kirk criticizing, Benny Johnson criticizing, Tucker Carlson criticizing, even like, I mean, I know Salty Cracker isn't like plugged in like those guys because Salty's kind of like me on the outside of that, but like Salty Cracker is crushing Trump over this just like I am. You know, you've got a lot of people. Megyn Kelly is calling Trump out on this. So, you know, who is this live streamer? I am a grifter. Some call me racist. Some call me sexist. Clickbaiter, hate monger. Pick your poison. Mossad agent. There's a lot of different labels you can label me. I tend to just think retard with a microphone is the best way you can describe me. Retard with the microphone. Because that kind of like, it kind of covers all the bases at that point. Mike says, what if Trump isn't wrong? He is literally known for this. The handling it terrible, but that doesn't mean he's wrong. What if months from now, this is behind us? It's impossible for me to answer that. I mean, I obviously, we've seen Trump be right way more than he's wrong. We've seen him ahead of the curve so many times, which is why this is so puzzling. It's why this is so confusing, because we've never seen him fumble this badly. Trump has had an amazing ability to read the room. So even when he was wrong in the past, he would read the room and he would know when to backpedal. Like anybody else, nobody's right 100% of the time. But Trump has, in the past, has made missteps and immediately recognized it was a misstep. This one, he continues to misstep every single time. It is mind-blowing. Nate says, it really does feel like Trump is on a different wavelength than the rest of us, doesn't it? He talks about the situation like it's slightly different topic or something. Hard to describe. Just me? No, I actually agree with you. It does seem like he's talking about a whole different topic at times. And that's something that people close to him have to talk to him about. Saturn Dreaming of Mercury says, can someone tell Trump he is now speaking and acting like a typical politician, which he distinguished himself from, and why we voted for him accordingly? Somebody does. I mean, again, Donald Trump Jr., J.D. Vance, they both called for the Epstein files to be released in the past. And again, as much as people want to believe that this was part of Trump's campaign, it wasn't really part of Trump's campaign. It just wasn't. It was part of people asking him questions, but Trump never put out that releasing the Epstein files was part of his personal agenda. That's just not true. It doesn't matter how many times people want to say that it is true. It's not true. Go back to Trump's actual comments on the campaign trail or the videos that he directly uploaded. He wasn't talking about Epstein. He just wasn't. But when he was asked about Epstein, he would answer. And then those clips would circulate and all of that. Mike says, or it's probably Mike S. But Mike S. says that the people that tried to lock you in your homes and got you fired from your jobs over a flu are laughing and gaslighting our base, attacking Trump right now, though, man. Well, I understand that. And that's why, like, you know, I've noticed people that that are, you know, circling my comments and all of that. And these are like lifetime Trump haters. Like now suddenly they're in the chat pretending like, oh, I told you Trump was this. No, you're a retard. So you have zero credibility if you've been crying about Trump for 10 years. You have zero credibility to ever be taken seriously. But Trump supporters that have been supporting this man and maybe criticize him here and there, absolutely, their word matters. Their word matters. Old Salty Dog says, you sound like a broken record. That means you listen to me a lot. I mean, I don't know if you understand that, but like saying Jeremy repeats himself means that you watch me a lot. That's a compliment. Jeremy, you just repeat yourself. Then that means you keep watching me repeat myself. Who's the retard now? So if I'm repeating myself, that means you're watching me too much, which I appreciate. The guy says, in my opinion, I think the files can't be released because it would destroy the House and Senate as is, and Trump wouldn't be able to get his agenda through. We have 3.5 years, no time to F around right now. In the event of sounding like a broken record, which I will once again, I don't buy this excuse. I do not buy this excuse. I don't buy this excuse because of this moment right here from the administration. Like, I don't buy the excuse that they can't do it or it'll destroy the fabric of everything. Then why did the administration release this? Re803 says Pam Bondi needs to resign and make BBC movies on Blacked. Maybe. Phil McCracken says, we live in sad times when this inbred makes the most sense. It's a sad reality of where we are, unfortunately. Philip Butler says, Trump defunded NPR and PBS after 40 years of promises. Soapwater Backwash says, remember getting rickrolled on the list? I do remember that. A disaster. Let's see. Hakoa says, so Trump just called us all stupid. That's what it appears. Gerald Armstrong says, MAGA will not let this go. Accountability. No, we won't. Mike S. says, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris voters are attacking Trump right now for a reason. Is it his fault? For sure. He makes mistakes, yet somehow he always wins. Well, I saw a tweet from, let me see, the guy that like runs the Dilley meme team, mega Trump supporter. I want to go over what he said. All right, so right here. Let's break down the Epstein hoax. Step one, take a legitimate criminal, exaggerate the influence of this criminal to almost boogeyman status for years. Step two, trusted Trump admins promise to get to the bottom of this greatly exaggerated issue. Step three, Trump officials get into a position of power, thoroughly investigate remaining documents. Step four, Trump FBI realizes that the reporting has been massively overblown and the conspiracy is much smaller and more specific than even they thought. Step five, try and tell people the facts which no longer support a theory they adopted as a reality over many years. Step five, anti-MAGA weaponizes the cognitive dissonance against Trump to fracture his base. Step seven, Trump goes hard and tells people it's bullshit. Believe me or not, I'm focused on MAGA, and you keep getting played by the Epstein hoax. Step eight, retards who built an entire brand and identity around a believed reality can't let it go, because then they would have to question everything else they've adopted as permanent truth. Step nine, Trump doesn't need your vote, is building a broader coalition for the midterms while cleaning up the election fraud. So he's done holding retards in his base and tells them to fuck off. Step 10, Trump is proven right yet again, and influencers never recover. That's not as crazy as you would think. That's not a crazy take. That's not a crazy take. So not sure that I agree completely, but that's not a crazy take. The problem here is that Trump's actions go completely against that, though. Like, you can justify it if you want, but Trump's actions do not help the situation. It just doesn't. And by the way, when Bongino and Kash Patel sit there and talk like that, they sound neutered. People are too smart for that. We watched Dan Bongino and Kash Patel build up their following. And we watched the passion and the fire they were spewing. We watched how they communicated with the people and how they communicated to the people. And then when they sat there in their clown suits, they sounded neutered when they talked. Like, if they would have sounded like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, if they would have sat there and said, you know, for years, I sat here on camera, and this is how I think this would have landed better. And this is why the Bongino Kash Patel stuff landed so terribly. So here's how Bongino and Kash Patel should have handled their discovery of the Epstein situation. Instead of sitting there like a corporate stooge that sounded neutered, they should have been like, well, you know, for years, I sat on camera and I was adamant about this Epstein situation. And I wanted everyone held accountable because it's some of the most disgusting stuff I've ever seen. And unfortunately, the previous administration seems to have destroyed almost all of this evidence, and we are left with crumbs now. We are left with crumbs. So now that I'm here on the inside, getting an opportunity to see all of this, I am as disappointed as every single American watching this to inform you of our findings. You say it like that, we're like, all right, that's the fucking guy I voted for. That's the fucking guy I voted for. But instead, they're like, well, I'm qualified. Kash Patel sits there like a fucking loser. And he's like, well, I've been a prosecutor and I'm pretty qualified to talk about this thing. And so as someone that's, you know, been in this situation, I could, no, fuck you. Fuck you. We didn't vote for that, you piece of shit. We voted for somebody that actually seemed to care. If you just sit there and go, well, as a qualified individual, I can sit here and tell you that what I see, no, fuck that. That's not why we voted for you. Nobody votes for people for qualifications. Oh, he's qualified because he's been in a fucking courtroom. We don't give a fuck about that shit. Do you think we voted for Trump because he was qualified or because he said things that nobody else was willing to say? We voted for Trump because he stood up there and said shit that nobody else is willing to say. Nobody in MAGA was like, well, let me break down the qualifications of President Trump just so I can make sure he's qualified to be president. Let me make sure I can get qualification. No fucking body gives a fuck about qualifications. Get the fuck out of here. Qualified. Fuck off with that. So again, I appreciate a lot of what Brendan Dilley has put right here, and I think there is a lot of legitimacy to this, but that doesn't change the fact that the administration has created this. The administration's handling has created this. That is the problem. Kash Patel telling us how qualified he is. Motherfucker, you're in the position because we the people demanded it. We fought for your name. We sat there and talked about that and demanded it and screamed to the heavens that we want Kash Patel. And for you to sit there on national TV and claim that you're qualified, so we should listen to you, fuck off. Pisses me off, man. It really does. So a lot of what he's saying right here, I really like. And I think that there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. It doesn't change the fact that the administration created this. Simple as that. Let's see. Dragon Dan says, I wonder at this point if this is about trade deals. If we had a bunch of big names exposed, other world leaders don't want to associate with us. I don't believe in any of that. And I'm not saying like, I'm not dismissing you. I'm just saying like, I don't believe in that. I think that a lot of what he's saying right here is accurate. I also think that the administration's disastrous handling of this is what has led to this PR firestorm. Zan Zoltan says, you are doing exactly what Trump wants you to do. Funny how he promised something and now he calls it a hoax. Somebody really powerful must be there. Packy Proton says, not done with Trump at all, but definitely confused. Sir Paladin says, I think he knows something we don't and don't like it. Feels like he ran into a trap, fake or tampered files. I wouldn't rule that out. Philip Butler says, the 1% against release of U.S. and world leaders. Aaron says, I agree and respect your integrity, Jeremy. It makes me sad to see Trump handle this so badly, and his responses keep getting worse. Still MAGA and IDOT. They are getting worse. No doubt about that. And it's progressively worse. Like they're getting really bad. Peter says, maybe he's just tired and gave up on the files. I don't know. Is still happy with him as president. Ironically, never cared about Epstein much until now. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Same here. Mono King says, what do you think about the rise of Dean Withers, the Charlie Kirk of the left? I mean, I don't know much about him. I know he said the N-word, which, I mean, you know, I would support him if he wasn't a leftist. Saying the N-word is cool. But I don't know much about him other than he's just a soy boy feminist, from what I understand. So, but, and by the way, I just want to be clear that was a joke when we saying like that, saying the N-word is cool. I just want everyone to know that if you were offended by that, I just want you to know that I don't give a fuck about your feelings. And, I've never gotten offended over a fucking word, and you're a loser if you get offended over words. So no, I wasn't joking. Go fuck yourself. Toasty Bun 450 says, I've been watching you for a while now. I don't agree on everything you say, but I respect your honesty and the fact that you call something out when it's wrong. People need to know it's okay to support someone and criticize them at the same time. Keep doing you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, bottom line, I will always, all I can be is honest. All I can be is honest and give the feedback on what I'm seeing. I've been a massive Trump supporter, and I continue to be a Trump supporter because I think Donald Trump is the greatest president in history. I don't think there's another human being that could do what he has done with this country. I don't think there's another person that could fight the battles that he has fought and go up against the people he has went up against. I just don't believe it. That's why I don't buy into this narrative that there's powerful people that are stopping Trump and they've threatened his family. It's like, dude, they fucking indicted him 4 times. They shot at him multiple times. They've locked up his friends and his family. They've locked up his business associates. He's already been down this road. That's not what's happening here. He's not being threatened. They've already threatened him and tried to kill him and tried to arrest him and tried to take his business. We've already been through that one. We just have. We've already been through that. We got a clip from Charlie Kirk right here. Let's hear what Charlie Kirk has to say.
Into other, by the way, on the special counsel looking into other, by the way, the Bitcoin.com studio, all of the deep state activity, including Jeffrey Epstein and the conspiracy attached to it. By the way, if you're just tuning in to Real America's Voice, we had a very important open here. We covered President Donald Trump's Truth Social. We covered kind of where he's coming from and where I think the grassroots is coming from. And I actually think there's a lot more alignment and harmony there. And I want to try to seek to mesh that up. But first, here's the breaking promising news. John Solomon, 352.
You did inform him that they're thinking about appointing a special counsel on this to take over this entire investigation.
Now this John Solomon guy is the same guy who said, so remember when the reports for Bongino and Kash Patel were out there and people were saying like Bongino is considering resigning. And then the reports were that Kash Patel is going to resign as well. This John Solomon guy came out and said, I don't know about Bongino, but Kash Patel's not resigning. Kash Patel's going nowhere. And that was at the height of everybody saying Kash Patel was. Guess who was right? John Solomon was right. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah, and he said, I think it's a good approach. Let's just do it. Let's get the trust of the American people. Let's get accountability, and then let's focus on the things that matter.
So he's on board with the situation of getting a special prosecutor and having the Epstein situation put into that, so that can be formally looked
Anything
at
legitimate that should be looked at.
and really in a criminal
He volunteered
context.
it, by the way, Steve. You know, I asked him about the special, but he immediately volunteers, and then I follow up on it. But he immediately brings up Epstein. Like, just throw that in. Let's get it all answered. I got nothing to hide. I want truth, and I want prosecutions, and I just want the justice system to take care of what needs to be taken care of. It was really a remarkable moment.
It's a phenomenal clip. And I would say Ed Martin as the deep state prosecutor would be a perfect person. Throw Epstein in there, throw the 2020 election there. Why does that matter? And this is why I think we're actually more in agreement than the back and forth here. The reason the base cares about this, again, is because we believe Epstein was an agent of the people that tried to kill Trump, that tried to take the election from Trump, and try to destroy Trump's first term. President Trump thinks, though, the people caring about Epstein are part of the people that have been trying to ruin him prior. That's where I think we're actually more in harmony here. And I'm not just saying this as, trying to cope or run cover, because President Donald Trump is obviously okay with appointing a special prosecutor.
And look at this. I just got to show this because I've repeated this so much. And I know Grok is Grok. So fucking weird. But I have been saying this, and all of these motherfuckers are coming in my comment section telling me different. Based on exhaustive reviews of the 2024 rallies transcripts and reports from diverse sources, Trump did not mention Jeffrey Epstein or promise to release related files at any campaign rallies, which is what I have said over and over again. Such remarks were confined to interviews like Fox and Friends and Lex Fridman. That's what I said. That's what it said. So, there you go. There it is. Somebody says, bro, it says in rallies. Yes, motherfucker, it says did not mention Jeffrey Epstein or promise to release related files at campaign rallies. None of them. I've said this 1,000 times. And people keep saying, you're lying, Jeremy. It's like, no, I actually just know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Simultaneously, he's fired up about people. He thinks that some people are trying to use this to hurt him. We're trying to use this to save him. Not save him, but to try to protect him. I don't want to say save him, but maybe save him from another deep state coup attempt. So President Donald Trump is in a active posture right now. He is in a place of where he is looking for threats on the horizon. Who can blame him? Play cut 353.
Operated the auto pen, had a policy, which is, by the way, I think the biggest scandal. That's the scandal they should be talking about, not Jeffrey Epstein.
Will you ask
Trump, when you say that, God, Trump, when you say that, people are going to do exactly what you're telling them to not talk about. Fuck. How does this man is a marketing genius, and he has put on a masterclass of how to fuck something up. It's unbelievable.
Attorney General Pam Bondi to release more documents to finally put this controversy to bed?
Yeah, whatever's credible, she can release. If a document is credible, if a document's there that is credible, she can release. I think it's good. But it's just really, it's just a subject. He's dead. He's gone. And all it is the Republicans, certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats, and they're following a Democrat playbook. And no different than Russia, and all the other hoaxes there.
So again, you bring up like that tweet that I was telling you that was trying to explain what Trump is trying to say. It's like, I'll go back to the movies. If you release a movie, and when I say, well, this movie isn't good because it didn't explain X, Y, and Z, and then someone's response was, yeah, but in the book that explains it. Okay, but that doesn't change the fact that the movie was bad. So if you're telling me, well, Trump might have said this, but here's what he really meant. It's like, but that means that Trump has done a bad job of explaining this if that's what he really meant. It's still on Trump.
They're started by the Democrats, and some Republicans, in this case, I was surprised, but they got duped.
Okay, I think he's talking about people on Capitol Hill. He might be talking about Speaker Johnson here that are calling for, special investigation, or Ghislaine Maxwell.
Again, no matter who he's talking about his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump. He's talking about Alina Habba. He's talking about Pam Bondi. He's talking about Donald Trump Jr. He's talking about J.D. Vance. He's talking about Kash Patel. He's talking about Dan Bongino. He's talking about people in his own fucking administration. That's who he's talking about.
Something like that. But we're all talking about the same thing in different ways. Knowing this from privately and public conversations, this is not that hard of a code to crack. The president says, why are you so focused on the person of Epstein? We're doing all this amazing stuff. This guy's a creep. I kicked him out of my club. Like, I don't know. Like, why are you so fired up about this? Where our counter is, we're actually not that interested in the person of Jeffrey Epstein. We're not.
True.
What we are interested in is was he a representative of the shadow government? We all want to focus on the president's big wins happening right now, on things that matter for all 340 million Americans. And he's doing an awesome job of that. And he is.
Agreed.
And the emphasis is not, it's all about the person of Jeffrey Epstein. The reason why the grassroots is mad, and the reason why you guys are fired up about this, and the reason why you guys are emailing me, freedom@charliekirk.com, is you say, no, Mr. President, this guy is a way. It is a skeleton key. It's a chance for us to look under the hood. It's a chance for us to say, whoop, this is the thread. Thank you. The deep state made a mistake. They were sloppy. They were messy. How did Epstein die? Where did he get his financing from? Was he a representative of a foreign government? Everything, we look at Epstein as an introductory story to all of the other elements that tried to take you out. It's not that we are obsessed with some people are online. They're like very into like who Epstein was personally. There's been plenty of documentaries about that. That's not what is animating this. That's not what's firing a lot of people up in this audience. Instead, that Epstein was likely a bagman and a fixer for the same people that have been trying to take out Donald Trump. We're going to blow through the break.
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes back to, there's a lot of hoops being jumped through by, MAGA people, and they don't want to say what I'm saying. Just Donald Trump has handled this terribly. Like, that's really what this comes down to. Donald Trump has handled this terribly, and that's the bottom line. There's no other, like, you can jump through hoops, you can try to make excuses. It's on Trump. That's it. See, Samurai says, Jeremy, you're finally starting to see the light. You're getting closer. Man of Steel is a good movie. No, it's not. Cavill is the best Superman. No, he's not. One of us also is the Jews. Cavill is not, like, stop. Okay. That is I personally just do not take people seriously that say Cavill is the best Superman when Christopher Reeve exists. It is insane. You are way too young at that point to even have a discussion with, because Christopher Reeve is the greatest Superman. He's the greatest superhero casting in history. No one will ever come close to what Christopher Reeve created with Superman. No one. There is no debate to be had. It's not even worth a debate. It's Reeve and everyone else. So Philip Beller says, get my tooth pulled or listen to Weinsteiners. Operation 1968 says, hey, sorry, I got here late. Can someone please fill me in on what's going on? Don't forget a swig of apple juice, Jeremy. What's up, brother? Let's see. Where are we at? ASP for 5 says, how stupid to think there is a magic list that's gonna expose all the rich pervs. That's just not realistic. This is just a fantasy. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like just a magic list, but I think there's powerful people that can be exposed. Absolutely. The guy says, has anyone thought this may be like the pardons, where it may be the best to release the files at the end of his presidency to not cause damage to his agenda? I don't think so. I mean, I know people have theorized about that, but I don't think that has anything to do with it personally. Christian Rocker says, just a theory. The left wanted to find Trump on the list, and when they didn't, they destroyed the evidence. If true, Trump is just handling this terribly. I mean, that's believable. Mike S. says, brother, he was literally going to prison. Dean says, Trump could have a point. Documents could have been altered by Dems. Hard to trust Dems, DOJ, FBI. Look at what they have done to Trump. Well, I agree with that. Let's see. Interstinker says, you're repeating yourself. Love you. Andrew says, I have to just point this out. Democrats are asking for the Epstein list, not on my bingo card. Yeah, I know. It's pretty interesting. Mike S. says they don't pull Biden or Kamala out of their basement for no reason. Democrats are desperate, and MAGA is playing it too far into it. Voldemort says, I think Trump is going to release the list until, let's see, I think Trump was going to release the list until Israel threatened to kill him and his family. Okay. Anthony Rodriguez says, one thing I noticed is the media is not really covering the illegal immigration raids. They're distracted with Epstein. Packing Proton says, some like to call you Tim. Wait for it. Phil McCracken says, Dan, Pam, and Cash should quit and apply at McDonald's. I hear they are hiring. Bibby says, that's right, Jeremy, preach. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, the idea that Republicans not only don't need Trump's base to help in the midterms, but that he can afford to purge them beforehand is beyond laughable. It's insulting. Well, again, if we're going to take that theory for what he's saying is, if Trump gets rid of illegal voter fraud, then he wins in a landslide. That's the theory behind what that is that Trump, if we get rid of illegal voter fraud, it's over. Like Trump wins in a fucking landslide. He probably wins every fucking state at that point in time. So that's the theory behind it. It's not isolated to one line. Read everything that was said in there. And within the context of what he's saying, yeah, if Trump gets rid of illegal immigration and illegal voters, then yeah, but that's a big if. It's a big if. Let's see. This is for $27.99. The Cryptic Stench, is that what it is? Thank you for $27.99. Speaking of other leaders, you should ask Trump why he endorsed Mark Carney in our election when Carney and his wife are in the flight logs at minimum, and he's been photographed with G. Maxwell at his house in the UK. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Trump cares about that per se. I think Trump looked at the Canadian situation as whoever he can get in there that is easily that can be easily manipulated so he can negotiate what he wants. That's what I think Trump was worried about with Canada. And I think he got what he wanted from that perspective. Mike S. says, thanks for seeing outside of the Twitter box. Vault 95 says, you could focus on bragging rights instead of the files. Maybe one day. Mike S. says, honestly, I think it's all theater so they can release an actual snack and pretend it's a meal and move on. Whiskey Niner says, it's almost like he could be doing this on purpose. Why he might be doing that is the question, though. I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I really don't. Let's see. SBC says, Jeremy, N-word is cool. Also, Jeremy, Munchie Ninja. MJ says, Chris Reeve is the GOAT. All others are just not that level. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's such a non-debate. Like, if anybody is trying to tell you that Reeve is not the GOAT, then they should never be taken seriously on any movie opinion they've ever had. This is an objective fact that Christopher Reeve is the greatest Superman we have ever seen on screen. His portrayal of Clark Kent and Superman is some of the greatest acting that has ever happened in the history of film. And for anybody to suggest that he's not the GOAT, immediately disqualified from being taken seriously on anything in movies ever again. That is a fact. Like, go back and watch what he did as Clark and Superman. It is magic. Magic. BD Gilroy says, I don't follow you because you're a MAGA. I'm more into your medical advice. So like a back brace, I remove my cast so my broken arm will heal properly. Well, I mean, again, I think that if you think that a back brace helps you, you're probably going to have back problems for the rest of your life. So I actually learned this at Home Depot when I worked there. But so what would happen is people that have back problems, they would go to work and then they would get those back braces, and then they would have this back brace, and it would essentially give them a false sense of security. So people with bad backs would put the stupid back brace on, and then they would go pick shit up that they otherwise couldn't pick up. But because the back brace gave them a false sense of security, they were actually doing more damage to their back, but they couldn't feel the damage they were doing to their bad back because the stupid back brace was on. That's exactly how it works. So in the moment it makes it feel like it's doing you a favor, but you're actually hurting yourself. Mike S says Trump isn't even down 2%, by the way. Mazda Salamanca says, guys, if you want Jeremy to believe that Israel's controlling Trump and the release of the list, just say Israel's attacking Nintendo's infrastructure. Yeah, I mean, the anti-Israel crowd has zero credibility with me too. They might as well just say Cavill's a better Superman than Reeve because, again, if you want to be taken seriously, then you have to make serious claims. And when you make retarded claims to the point where you're just like a meme at that point, then no, I'm not going to take anything you say seriously if you're just going to say some stupid shit that is just ridiculous. So Samurai says, dang, I feel bad now. Sorry, everyone. Darth Manic says, Reeve's performance in Rear Window is goated because he was paralyzed, unlike Jimmy Stewart in the 1954 Hitchcock original. Let's see. Over on Rumble, thank you guys for watching and hanging out on Rumble. JD Corey says, the problem here is Trump is going to decrease the voter turnout on midterms. Why is someone going to walk across broken glass to vote and protect deep state if records deleted, arrested those, or fire? John DeWitzkid says, I tagged you on Twitter over another conspiracy theory by Alpha Warrior, and I just want your thoughts on it. Could all this turmoil just all be part of Trump's plan? I don't know, but I wanted you to check it out. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think this is all part of Trump's plan. I think Trump is mishandling this. That's what's happening. Here's a clip from Chip Roy about the Epstein stuff.
Your thoughts quickly on Epstein.
Look, the American people deserve to know more information than they're getting. I also trust the Trump administration to work through this. As a former federal prosecutor, what I would tell you is the one thing we got to be mindful of when you say, quote, release the files, remember that there are victims.
Yes.
Okay. And you've got to be careful about that.
Yes.
Remember that there are also individuals who might have been in some book or some list that never got on a flight, that never had anything to do with this creep, or at least directly, or certainly didn't go to the island. So you got to be careful about that. I think what we need is the autopsy released, the full details surrounding the suicide. And I think we need the flight logs, which are traditionally public. I think we should start with that, get that out there so people can understand those facts. And I think then the Department of Justice owes us sort of an explanation for what are they doing in light of the prosecution of Epstein, in light of the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell. What is it? Are they protecting anyone? Who are the people? Who else should be prosecuted, and why aren't they being? And I think that methodical approach is the way the Trump administration ought to approach it. I think they owe us more information on that front. I think we should push for that, but I don't think we should be blind. Okay. We've got to be careful, right? Grand juries operate in secrecy for a reason.
Yes.
So let's be smart about this. We believe in freedom. We believe in due process. We don't believe in just throwing things to the wind. And by the way, I'm not, if you read Alan Dershowitz's op-ed in the Journal this morning, he walks through a bunch of this stuff, and he represented Epstein. And there are judges who currently have a clamp down on being able to talk about some of the information.
Yes.
So we need to work through that. Like, there's a lot of variables in this.
So I think, Chip, that is totally reasonable. And I think there wouldn't have been any blowback had that been the response. But what the response was, was it's sitting on my desk. Then it wasn't sitting on my desk because the FBI is holding it from me in FBI headquarters. But I've got to go through everything because there's so many names and so much information there, and we're still going over the videotapes too. There's nothing. Wait, what? What? That just didn't make sense. And then it was, shut up and sit down. I think the American people want to believe. I mean, I would rather have this be the truth, that there wasn't a big deal. There were some people, but it wasn't as big as we thought. I'd love to believe that. But you need to take the American people through it because we have a lack of trust. Big time.
And by the way, the best process for them to go through is they need to go take some scalps, right? And they need to demonstrate that they're serious about it. If they have a list of mobsters and a whole big old binder full of people affiliated with the mob, but they go nail 10 hides to the wall and say, we're doing our job, then we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not protecting somebody who shouldn't be protected. But right now, we're getting a whole lot of whatever and a whole lot of shrugging. And after the big presentation with the binder on the desk, we need more than just shrugging.
I don't know how this situation gets fixed. I really don't. I don't know, man. We are so far into the weeds at this point in time. And Jackie Moore for 10 says Trump is the best president ever, but he needs to release all the files. Agreed. I agree with everything you said. Dethu says, I don't take Jeremy's wrestling take seriously. He doesn't watch AEW. Reeve greater than others. AEW greater than others. Well, first of all, it's Reeve, not Reeves. So if you're going to try and call me out for my takes, learn how to spell the great Christopher Reeve name with the proper spelling. Okay. It's Reeve, not Reeves. George Reeves played Superman. Okay. But Christopher Reeve is his name. Let's see. I don't even know how to say your name. Both. I'll just call you Both. The way Trump is handling this list is the equivalent of Superman letting his dad die. Trump had a good first hour, though. Deeply unfortunate choices. Very well said. Mike S. says flight logs were already released. The client list is what people want. Rise Tile says, it's okay, Jeremy. We forgive you for being on the island, but being Mossad agent and very gay, everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone except for people that think Cavill's better than Christopher Reeve. That's my stance on it right there. Everyone deserves a second chance unless you think Cavill's better than Christopher Reeve. Then you don't. Maito says Trump's ego is big. He has never been perfect. This is true. Zandy Claus says, I just wonder how good the head Pam Bondi gives for Trump to defend her so hard. She's the one who caused the optics disaster. Amenti says, holy crap, I've been a member for 24 months. Anyway, tired of hearing about the freaking list, but really hoping for some justice for the victims. Football Frequency says Trump can not release the list because of his indictments from before he got elected. Call Trump a dictator. He arrests Bill Clinton equals civil war. Bibby says, facts, Jeremy. Trump never ran on releasing the files. He was asked about releasing them, and he'd answer. Retards say otherwise, God bless. Yeah, it's the internet, so what are you going to do? So Operation 1968 says, folks, I'm from Israel. I'm Israeli, and I can tell you that we have better things to worry about than to screw or control with everyone or whatever. We just want to live our lives, so let's give it a rest, okay? Sadly, that's never happening, Operation. They're people that they're never going to let the Israel stuff go. Whiskey Niner for 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, Whiskey Niner. 10 gifties. Red Mage for 50 says, let's see, Trump isn't perfect. Overall, I'm happy with what he's done so far in his first 6 months. Strange that Dems suddenly want the list released unless they're hoping he's on it. Yet they would likely be throwing their own under the bus. The Dems are doing this because they don't think Trump is going to release it. And so they're just they're posturing, which is what the Dems do. Thank you, Red Mage, for the 50. I appreciate it. Somebody said over Jeremy's off the Trump train. I'm not a libertarian, so I'm not going to jump ship because of one single issue. So I am MAGA, and that's not changing. So because MAGA, look, MAGA has to live beyond Trump. It just does. And 8 o'clock says Jeremy I thought you were joking of how dumb the Kents were. As a Kansan, I think Gunn should have spent a week on a farm and he would know farmers ain't dumb. I told you, man, James Gunn's Superman is a terrible movie. Terrible movie. I know Trump is live right now, but he's just doing a bill signing. So I doubt he's going to be taking. If he takes questions, I will go over to him. If he takes questions. The guy says AEW is wrestling for beta soy boys. Booming Bob says, do you deserve a second chance if you think Snake Eyes movie is unironically good? No, you don't. I mean, the Snake Eyes movie had the same kind of, it had the same effect on me that James Gunn's Superman did, where I went back and I'm like, okay, I still don't like the live action G.I. Joe movies, but damn, they're better. The things that I liked about them, I started to like more, and I was a little able to overlook the issues. That's what James Gunn's Superman did for me for Man of Steel, is where I look back and I'm like, okay, I still have huge problems with this movie, but the things that I like a lot more. So that's the silver lining with it all. Samurai says, who wins in a multiverse fight? Reeve Superman versus Cavill Superman or Corn Sweat's Soup? I mean, it's impossible to say. I mean, I'm personally going to just say Christopher Reeve Superman just because he's the best Superman. There's no way Corn Sweat's Superman wins because he's a weak bitch. So, but Christopher Reeve always is going to be the winner. Andrew for $50 says, time for our most valuable resource, U.S. adversaries at our doorstep. Not fear-mongering, but reality. We're inside the decision cycle, which is good. So task prioritization may de-emphasize some issues. Truth will always float in time. Thank you, Andrew, for the $50 super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Listen, we're in the storm right now, and this will pass. This Epstein stuff will pass. It just will. Maybe some channels won't ever let go of it. I mean, I'm always going to criticize it until it's dealt with, but there will be more news to talk about. Trump is the reason we're talking about this as much as we are, because he will not stop. He can't get out of his own way. And that's just the sad reality of where we are. Trump has done this. So, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it, brother. Dan Vasquez in the chat. What's up, Dan? Operation 1968 says, yeah, I know, but thanks for trying. Appreciate it. Of course, brother. Like I said, man, the anti-Israel people are like Amway salesmen, dude. They need you. They're like, hey, I can convince you. I can convince you, Jeremy. You just watch this video and I can convince you. I can convince you. Yeah, this is it right here. It's my Amway sales pitch. I'm like, okay, thanks. Don't care. CG 87343 says, it's so simple. You say nothing there. Show your work. Walk through everything step by step and put it to bed. Yep. Nothing can convince Jeremy. Oh, absolutely. Things can convince me, but Amway salesmen certainly are not. It's the mall kiosk guy. You may have the greatest product in the world. I'm not fucking listening to the mall kiosk guy. Okay? It's that simple. So you could have the greatest product in the world, but you're a mall kiosk guy. So I'm not going to give you the time of day to listen to you because you're a mall kiosk guy. If your Amway salesman approach is what I sense, then I'm not going to listen to you. I don't care. So it's that simple. You know, the way you carry yourself in life and the way you approach things and approach people. If me, who's a fucking idiot on the internet, but if I'm so important to the piece of this puzzle, if I'm the prettiest girl at the dance for a lot of these motherfuckers, then maybe approach me from that perspective. But no, you want to sit there and say, you're a Mossad agent. It's like, okay, I immediately don't care about what you have to say anymore. Like, you mean nothing now. Like, it's the stupidest fucking shit ever. And then get mad at me when I have to tell you I have to Google Mossad. And it's like, if I'm the idiot for having to Google Mossad, what does that make you for thinking that I was a Mossad agent? Because that means you're really stupid at that point in time. Gregory says, I'm a dum-dum. I searched D-Day Cobra in the Teespring store Monday, not realizing the new shirt was being sold under Geeks and Gamers. Oh, man. Yeah, everything's in the Geeks and Gamers store. I'm sorry about that, brother. As a matter of fact, we do have, let me pull it up really quickly. If Twitter could learn to work. Twitter doesn't like working very well these days for some reason. I don't know why either. Like the one thing about Elon is they have made quite a few upgrades to Twitter, but man, the private message system is trash. All right. It's really bad. But you can go over to Teespring right now, and we have the Alligator Enforcement Agent 199 IDOT shirt available until Friday. So you got till Friday to go check it out if you're interested. All right. If you're interested. And we have more. We have, T-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, all of that. So go over there, check it out. And hopefully we'll see some of you rocking the new IDOT shirt. Demi Moore Tapeworm says, my Jewish grandma died trying to bring you into Mossad. Is that a retarded take? Sorry for yesterday. I hope I didn't get your channel in trouble. No. It's like, I don't really care about the inside jokes over here, but like when I have a panel of like 9 people, half of them don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So it just, it makes for awkwardness. CG says, rather hear about the court of allowing Trump to mass fire Department of Special Ed or another reconciliation bill to make Doge cuts permanent. Let's get back to winning. Well, it's really on Trump to get us back to winning because he's the one that won't stop running his mouth and making a fool of himself over this Epstein thing. And that's the sad reality. Star Wars Stripes for 20 says that 50% of me that's stupid, that's 100% of you. Red Mage for 20 says one of the last times I remember seeing Reeve on screen was his appearance in Smallville. Also, one of my favorite scenes in the Superman movies was when he goes back to the diner and deals with the bully. This one's to go. There's I love all of those scenes. There's just so many incredible moments with Christopher Reeve Superman. And I hope more and more people will go back and revisit those movies. And you can think like from the time and the setting and all of that, you may think there's some cheesy stuff in it, and that's fine. It's not about that. It's about his performance. His performance is timeless. It's amazing. Nothing will ever come close to his performance. John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, hey, Jeremy, glad I caught you. Yeah, have missed you, John. Missed John the last few days. So great stuff, though. Good to see you, John. Appreciate you, man. Patriotic Eagle says, totally random, but after reading the JFK files, Call of Duty Black Ops from 2010 hits so different. Hail the 199. Hail Trump. Thank you. The Hedson says, Reeves Superman 10 out of 10. Reeves horse riding 1 out of 10. Oof. Demi Moore Tapeworm says, I can't believe it's been over a year since the assassination attempt. Been following CobraCast religiously ever since. You are my news source now, bro. I always take that as a compliment, but I die inside a little every time people say I'm your number one news source because I realize how fucked we are at that point. But I do appreciate it. I do. Like it's the definition of a double-edged sword because I'm like, damn, man, that's really not. Thank you for considering me your news source. And then I die a little inside because I'm like, dude, I'm their news source. What are we doing right now? Mazda Salamanca says, what did you think of JD Vance and Uncle Ruckus for 2028? Bro, we need the memes. We could use the memes. We absolutely could. Alexander for 10 says, as a foreigner, it's sad to see that the Americans go through so much crap just for what was meant to be a dream team administration to keep shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly. Wish you the best. I think, and I appreciate that. I think we're in good shape. I do. I just think that, there's a few things. Let's go. You guys want me, too many people keep mentioning Trump's live. I know he's live. I got it pulled up right here. So we'll listen to what Trump's saying right now.
A 20% tariff on China because of the fentanyl, and I call it a penalty. It's a penalty because China delivers much of the fentanyl. Some people would say all of it. They deliver it into Mexico and even into our own country. We have a 20%, so they pay billions of dollars in damages for what they've done. And I think we're going to work it out so that China is going to end up going from that to giving the death penalty to the people that create this fentanyl and send it into our country, whether it's through other countries or directly. I believe that we would have had that deal a long time ago. I shook hands with them, and then we had a rigged election, and we had somebody else come in, and they didn't know anything about a deal for the death penalty. The death penalty is going to be imposed on people from China that make fentanyl and send it into our country. I believe that's going to happen soon. But as of today, all fentanyl-related substances will be banned forever, and those who traffic in these deadly poisons will be put behind bars for a very long period of time. We're joined today by just a few of the millions of families ravaged by this scourge, including Greg Swan from Michigan, who
I don't know if he's going to take questions or not. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he'll take questions after he does the bill signing, but we'll see.
After being prescribed painkillers following a sports injury, got injured, and this is happening so much, got injured in sports and ends up, you leave the hospital a week later and you're addicted. But he fought through it and got himself clean. Then one day, Drew took a pill laced with fentanyl. He took it just casually, thought it would be okay. Took a chance and he thought it'd be okay, and it didn't work out. And he tragically lost his life. And Greg, I'd like you to come forward, and if you could just say a few words about your wonderful, wonderful son, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Honor of my life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I will be brief. It's the honor of my life to be here. And Drew was the happiest day of my life was when he was born. And he always called me his hero to the day he died. And his passing ruined, I thought, my life. And every parent back here that I meet and in the audience, some of my friends, their life is gutted when they lose a kid. There's despair and there's hopelessness. But we've been able to find some repose in going out and advocating. And we want to hit every school in America. There's 26,727 of them. We want to go into every one. The kids are silent when they hear we lost somebody to this, and we tell our story, and they leave unequivocally ready to run away from fentanyl. I would just like to say thank you, Mr. President, for stopping the border crossings. Full stop, mic drop. I'll step back but it was amazing what you did. We were being gaslit, and you came and lit a fire to that story, and we're a lot safer for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's tough stuff. We're also grateful to be joined by California native Ann Fundner, who lost her beautiful eldest son, Weston, to fentanyl when he was just 15 years old, exactly 1 year ago today. Ann delivered a moving tribute to Weston at the Republican National Convention. People that saw it have not forgotten it. And Ann, I'd like you to please come up and say a few words about your wonderful boy. Thank you. Please. Thank you, Tom.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and distinguished guests. My name is Ann Fundner.
Oh, come here. I'm going to hold.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm an angel parent.
Good
1
guy,
year
Trump.
ago
Good guy,
today,
Trump.
On July 16th, I stood in front of America and told the story of my son, Weston, at the RNC. And about how he was a beautiful, loving, had a wonderful life. We did everything right. But one pill, one mistake given by a friend under peer pressure took his life. In the last 4 years, fentanyl became the #1 killer of Americans ages 15 to 48. And children under 14 are the fastest growing demographic. President Trump, for 4 years, we felt ignored. But you've changed that. and we appreciate that so much. You've closed the borders, sanctioned cartels, imposed tariffs, closed shipping loopholes. Most people don't know about that. That was a big one. Dealt with countries where it's coming from. You mobilized Treasury, Justice Department, Homeland Security, lawmakers, legislators, and today the signing of the Fentanyl Act, bipartisan and overwhelmingly supported by everybody, making fentanyl a Schedule I drug to strengthen the criminalization and prosecution of people who peddle this. It is a lifeline for families across America and keeping our families safe. And that's all you always want, to keep America safe. And thank you so much. Thank you for keeping America safe and for our children. And this is what we voted for, Mr. President. God bless you. God bless our angel families who are all here with us today, and all of you sitting up here with us. And God bless America. Thank you so much. You can have that. Would you like that? I would love to give that to you.
Thank you very much. It's just crazy that we have to be doing this. It's so sad. Should be so unnecessary that we stand here for years and years doing the same thing over and over. It's terrible. A friend of mine, a longtime friend of mine, is Jackie Siegel, and her beautiful children, her husband, David, just passed away. David Siegel was a great developer, great developer, great guy, friend of mine. But her children, Jordan, Jacqueline, and Drew, come from Florida. Jackie lost her beautiful daughter, Victoria, to drugs when Victoria was just 18 years old, a beautiful person. And this April, Jackie lost her sister, Jessica, to fentanyl. In her daughter's honor, Jackie founded Victoria's Voice. And I'd like to ask Jackie to come up and say a few words about her daughter, her husband, her family. She's comes from a great family, and they've been fighting this scourge for a long time. Thank you very much, Jackie.
Mr. President, it's an honor to be here today on behalf of our family, my late husband, and all of the other affected families for this important signing on this bipartisan issue. 10 years ago, when our daughter, 18 years old, passed, Victoria, she was 18, she passed away of a drug overdose. We formed the Victoria's Voice Foundation, and the Trump administration was very helpful in passing the CARA Act, which saved many lives back then, bringing out the Narcan. And we're so honored. Well, actually, when my husband passed away, thank you for the phone call and your love and support. Our family loves you, Mr. President. That day, when my sister found out of my husband's passing, she did a line of cocaine that she thought was cocaine, and it was fentanyl. So I lost both of them in the same day, and it's been a very rough time. But it's turned me into more of a fighter to carry on my husband's legacy and the other families' legacies of saving lives. And so I'm turning my pain into passion. And also on top of this, with the signing of this important the act that you're doing, we are joining with Victoria's Voice is joining with founding fathers, and we're going to start the Angel Army. So we're even growing even more under this Trump administration. We're going to spend the rest of our lives doing this. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Somebody in the comments says this seems like a scripted circle jerk. Yeah, I mean, I remember all of the other political stunts like this where they just gave tickets to anybody and everybody. This is the only time we've ever seen a politician have a situation where they organized it. Yeah.
Incredible crisis that we've all been watching all over the world. They're watching it. Other countries have the problem. but I don't think there are too many that have it more seriously than us. They come here and they rip us so badly.
Yeah. How dare Trump and the administration, organize an event based around the signing that they're doing? Guys, I believe this is an organized situation. Like, yeah, motherfucker, that's exactly what it is. Fuck, there's so many stupid fucking people out there.
So today,
the fuck do you think that they were going to do? Do you think they're going to have the most powerful man in the world and just say, hey, guys, we're just going to open it up to anybody who wants to show up, wear what you want, bring guns, bring drugs, let's get some strippers in there and have a fucking party? Of course it's organized, you retard.
About in government, there's nothing more important than what you're doing. So I wish you a lot of luck, and we'll be there to help you all the way along, okay? Once again, I want to thank Congress for passing this important bill and for all the work you've done over the last 2 weeks. All of you, what a job you've all done. It was the congressmen and women and the Senate has been unbelievable. And I'd like to ask, if you want, stand right up here while I sign the bill, and then we're going to get you right back so you can keep passing other bills and make America great again, right? Okay, thank you very much. It's great to have you. Very protected. You want to make sure it's signed. People behind you. And this is not an auto pen, right? That's for sure. That's great. Thank you.
I got a feeling that they organized this whole thing, guys. My Batman detective skills have led me to believe that this was scripted. And next, I'm going to uncover a theory that I have that no one else has. I think WWE is fake, and I'm going to prove it.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Very important. One of the more important things that we'll ever sign, I suspect. And thank you all for the great job. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, doesn't look like we're gonna get any questions. I was hoping we'd get some questions from him, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get those. So, now release the list. That's fair. That's fair. Hey Trump, thanks for all the good you're done. Can you release the list now, buddy? Please. CG says, I agree with Jeremy. There's only one Superman, Christopher Reeve. He's the GOAT, the undeniable GOAT. Ghost Crusader TV says, I don't expect how powerful wealthy people with the means and powers to have Epstein delete himself with a federal prison would allow the list or any evidence to be allowed to stay in storage. I agree. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills sometimes because I feel like I'm one of the few people that is taking a logical approach to this. My criticism of the Trump administration is the Trump administration's handling of this. That is my problem. The list or the evidence, I don't know how much of that even existed, so that's why I continue to qualify my criticisms are the administration's handling of this. John freaking Murdoch 450 says, hey Jeremy, thanks for sharing that LA wisdom. I suspect this event was organized too, but I'm not sure. I know, guys, I think we're on to something here. I think this may take Trump down. This is the moment. We have figured it out that Trump and his team organized this event. Can you believe that? I believe that they probably vetted every single person at this event. The Trump administration probably vetted them just so they knew who was going to be standing around the president. Exposed. Trump is done. Trump is done now. We have finally taken him down. It's over. It's over. Golden Nuggets says, I haven't been around since I got healthy again. Been at the gym 6 days a week. Hell yeah. Call me weird, but I am preferring hot girls and tight clothes rather than looking at you guys. Epstein stuff is wild. Take care. Golden Nuggets knows what's going on. Dan Vask, please don't ever accuse me of that. I don't want anyone to see this. I don't need anyone believing that I do this for the money. Okay? I just do this so I can get called gay and retarded. I don't do this for the money. I just do it for the chance to get called gay and retarded by thousands of people every day. Andrew CR says, where can I get a Mossad with a happy ending, specifically with an Asian girl? Demi Moore Worm says, wait, you're a Mossad? What the fuck? Grandma's intel is bad. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Mall Kiosk Guy says, do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior? I have a video. John, is it Machinus says, the Epstein thing will blow over when people forget about the Catholic Church priest cover up. This shit ain't gonna die until people get prosecuted. Eric K says, Jeremy saying Mossad instead of Mossad is a typical Mossad agent trying to throw us all off. Mossad, an Iranian agent, confirmed. Matt Frog says, Jeremy, have you seen the anime AI gif of Grok? Humanity had a good run. Yeah, we're done, dude. We are in trouble. We're in big trouble. I don't know what this is. Your name? Lil. I don't know what it says. I see Grand 5604 though. They need to stop treating us like idiot children. Release the files and trust us to separate the truth from the bullshit. I agree. Two Penny Puppet says, I read today that Congress is going after the charter or the teachers union. Bam. How about that? Look at Trump working the room. He's working the room right now. The alpha in chief is working the room. Ministry of Wrong Think says, so far, Asman had the best take on the whole Epstein debacle. I'm going to keep talking about it until something happens or I get bored. That is a great take. I will go one step further. I'm going to keep talking about the Epstein debacle until something happens or people stop sending super chats. All right. So there you go. Aaron Adams says, I want to see Superman and I went to see Superman and I hated it. I made it up in my mind. You were wrong about it. But 10 minutes in, I realized you were right. It was crap. Thank you, Aaron. It's not a good movie. East Coast Toasted Boy says, not that I don't feel for them, but how about we don't do any drugs at all? That would lower the chance of the dead drastically and they live. I agree. Listen, I'm not here to make fun of anyone during this. And Trump is the man, by the way. I mean, dude is just working this room like a master. But did that one woman say that someone that she was there for, like they thought they were snorting crack and it ended up being fentanyl? Did I hear that correctly? Did I hear that correctly? Because I was looking around on Twitter, but I feel like, didn't she say something like this person was going to snort? She thought she was snorting crack or cocaine. Thought she was snorting cocaine and it ended up being fentanyl, her daughter. Okay. You know, I'm obviously like, I have sympathy for anybody that's lost anything, but like, that's tough, man. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Out of respect, I'm not going to say anything, but that's not a good situation. Timothy says, sorry if you already saw this, but John Solomon said Trump is going to appoint a special prosecutor regarding Epstein. I did see that. And I hope that's the case. I really do. And again, this is the greatness of Trump right here. His ability to work this room is second to none. Like, nobody can work a room like this guy. He's absolutely fantastic. He really is. Ministry of Wrong Things says, guys, I think my 250-year-old military party Trump had, or the 250-year military party Trump had on his birthday was organized. Ho, ho, ho. We are exposing all of the lies of the Trump administration now. Exposed. By the way, since we're talking fentanyl, I just want to give a big shout out. We meme a lot on here and we joke around a lot. Big shout out to St. George Floyd. I think he's close. It's close to 6 years. 6 years drug free for St. George Floyd. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 years now. Going on 6 years drug free. Hell of an accomplishment. Congratulations to St. George Floyd. Closing it on 6 years drug free. Insane, man. Good job, buddy. Really proud of you. Really proud of you, George. I mean, that is such an accomplishment. They should build statues for you, man. 6 years sober. They should build a statue for you. And they might want to put you like pointing a gun at a pregnant woman's belly. Never mind. That was fake news, because the NBC and ABC told me that was not true. That George Floyd did not point a gun at a pregnant woman's belly. That was fake news. So I'm just telling you, ABC said it was a lie. Okay. So Andrew CR says, highly organized like Geeks and Gamers. Let's see. Sec 199 says, Deep State used a fake dossier that issued 4 FISA warrants illegally to try to take down a U.S. president. Of course, they secured the list. Yeah, this is true. But yeah, big shout out to St. George. St. George doing great work, man. Great work. So let's see. Where did that? Eye Candy says, retail man, the hero we need. Thank you. I appreciate that. John says, the way the DOJ treats pedophilia between gang members and Senate and others is kind of hypocritical. Say hello to, is it Porthas, my new beagle? Hey, there we go. Always good to get a new dog. Babo Yogi says they can't release any list. It would arbitrarily throw shade on anyone on the list. If they were guilty or not. Billions of lawsuits without proof. English Batchers says Mr. Burns and Smithers are all over those files, man. They will never be released. Kyle says Trump is playing 199D chess. Let's see. Toke fan says cartels are now putting meth in pill form. I'm assuming the cartel had China's help in developing that. I try to stay. I will not say that I don't take medication, because I often will. But even when it comes to like Advil and aspirin, I just don't like taking anything, man. Occasionally I will if I have a headache or something, but I just don't like taking medicine at all. I don't like taking medication. And obviously I don't smoke, drink, do drugs, any of that shit, but I don't even like taking medication. In extreme circumstances, I will, but I try to avoid it if I can, because you just become reliant upon that shit, you know? Let's see. Gosh, these names are so hard to read. Maybe Trump put on the Epstein files a sticker that reads, do not open until before midterms. But that's my tinfoil hat tingling. Hail the 199. Thank you. East Coast Toast Boy says, how about this? You keep talking about the Epstein situation until Beardo reads the super chat correctly or learns how to say, what did he call it? Chimera? What did he say? Chimera? What did he say? I think he said chimera, right? Chimera? How did Beardo say it? I can't remember. Lapco says, Shalom, Operative 199. Here's $20 to help fund this week's operation. But what you need is $10 for, I don't know, just to keep fleecing the... What? I don't even know what you said there. It's McDoubles, new member. Thank you. Packet Proton says, if you want a funny clip to add to the roster, look up 10 seconds of Ernie. What is it? Anastos, keep the fucking chicken. Garfield's Bizarre Adventures says, Prince Andrew is in the picture with convicted child trafficker Maxwell at Epstein's residence with a traffic victim. His investigation was dropped. Interstinker says, no matter what, I support you, Jeremy. Well, you're being mean to about Interstellar, so I have to take that as a personal shot. Because one thing I've learned about Superman 25 is that if you don't like a movie I like, then you are a horrible person. Because the people that love Superman 25, they've decided that everyone that doesn't like Superman 25 is the worst person on the planet, and they should all go straight to hell. So there you go. That's what I've learned, though. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Where's that at? All right, Trump got that one. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out tomorrow, looking like it could be a game of the year contender. We shall see. Looking forward to that. Let's see. I respect that. In reality, I do like Interstellar. Jeremy, I just made this to piss you off. Now that I respect. I respect that a lot. I got to say, people are really like, Interstellar is becoming like so fucking popular now that I feel like I was like I've liked the movie since it first came out, and it was pretty popular, but it's aging so well. And some lists, people are voting it even higher than The Dark Knight now, which again, I agree it is better than The Dark Knight. But yeah, like now I'm starting to think like, man, it's not as cool as it used to be. Everybody's starting to love this damn movie now, which I do appreciate. I appreciate that time is being so kind to it. But I am noticing that, which I like it better when I had a lot of people telling me I was wrong. But hey, it is what it is, right? Let's see here. Lapco says, pretending to not know Jewish words is also peak Mossad. Gotcha. Hey, you got me. You got me. Sam Leon says, did Jeremy just say he's a noticer? Oh, yeah. Is he noticing? Is he noticing? The JFK says BBS is better than Interstellar. I mean, it's better at being a piece of shit. So that's for sure. Because BBS is a terrible movie. Like it is a horrible movie. I rewatched it recently after watching Superman 25, and yeah, it confirmed it. Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, is a dog shit movie. It is a fucking horrible movie, man. It really is. So bad. Trying to see. What the hell? Okay, got that one. So back to the point at hand that we were talking about today, the thing that has got, oh, by the way, we got to talk about this. I haven't talked about this. So JD Vance went on Blue Sky the other day and posted this. I've got an exciting announcement about my political future. And he's wearing a Trump 2028 hat over on Blue Sky. JD Vance is the man, dude. And he only does this on Blue Sky. He only does this on Blue Sky to piss off the lefties over there. He knows exactly what he's doing. And it's so good because they get so triggered by this. Because they think like a lot of the lefties have decided like, oh, JD's just he's so mad. He's so mad about, Trump saying this because it disrespects him. And then JD just comes and owns the meme. And it's so great. Oh, man. Now, one thing I'm noticing right now is, and this is not really related to politics, but it is related to like the entertainment world and all of that. But like, okay, so I retweeted Krista. Where's it at? Okay. So Krista posted this. We got the casting announcements for the Legend of Zelda live action movie. Okay. And this is something that's going on right now. So we got the casting announcements from the live action Legend of Zelda, and we have basically two relatively unknown actors for the role of Zelda and the role of Link. I am very happy about the casting. I think it's a very, very good casting choice. One thing that's about to happen right now, okay? And you have to pay attention to this. This girl is about to face the trans mob. The trans weirdo mob is about to attack this poor girl. That's what's about to happen because there was this massive phony movement to get this dude named Hunter Schafer to play the role of Princess Zelda. It went mega viral, and all of the trans weirdos were out there saying that Hunter Schafer should play Zelda. Okay. So now that we have the casting announcement of Princess Zelda, I'm seeing viral tweets right now of people saying it should have been Hunter Schafer. It should have been Hunter Schafer. And they're all going to attack this poor girl who's done absolutely nothing. She looks like she's a great casting for the role. She's relatively unknown. Same with the guy that plays Link. And so the trans weirdos are going to go after this poor girl now. So this is absolutely insane what we are seeing right now. And it's just something to keep an eye on it, because I believe Hunter Schafer is like kind of trending right now on Twitter because people are so upset over this. It's absolutely crazy. Kongman says this is like 9/11 for the troops who wanted Hunter Schafer as Zelda. That's exactly what's happening, unfortunately, now. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be bad. They're going to target this girl because these people are broken, dude. Like, they're absolutely broken. Psychopaths. See, like this person here quote tweeted it. Well, Hunter Schafer exists. Fuck. God, these people are broken, man. Their brains are broken. Oh my God. But this is the mentally broken losers out there. And the best part is they're all very upset. They're all very upset over this. How could you want this? How could you want this at all? I don't know. But I think the casting choices are good. I just wanted to point that out. That's something going on, and I'm paying attention to it. Mental illness. These people are psychopaths. 100%. Let's see here. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. I got that one. The JFK. I got that one. Matt Frog says, Jeremy's such a hipster, liked Interstellar before it was cool. He needs a ponytail and a south patch or a beanie. Pretty close to having a fucking ponytail if I don't do something with this hair. Riz Tile says, Henry Cavill, best Superman, not even an argument. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right? Don't make me pull it up. All right? Don't make me pull it up. Look at here. Okay. You're telling me. Okay. You're telling me. This guy right here. Okay.
Didn't you hear me knocking?
Uh-huh.
So this is Christopher Reeve as Clark Kent. He was just Superman. Okay. He was just Superman. Look at this guy.
You okay?
Uh-huh.
Good night.
Oh, good night.
And then he's Clark. All right. Absolutely, like, amazing.
Hi. Can I come in?
Oh, yeah.
Lois, for goodness sake, didn't you hear me knocking?
Uh-huh.
Lois, we did have a date tonight, remember?
Oh.
Lois?
Huh?
You haven't been,
Oh, no.
well, I should certainly hope not. Well, let's, push off, shall we?
I better get a coat. It might be kind
okay.
of cold up.
Now, this is the best part. This is the best part because you see the magic of Christopher Reeve right here, where he transforms right before our very eyes because he wants to tell Lois that he's really Superman in this moment. He wants to. Watch this right here. Nobody will ever be able to pull it off the way he does it.
No, I mean, I need a person. I have to fix my hair and some blush on.
Lois, there's something I have to tell you. I'm really... I was, at first, really nervous about tonight. But then I decided, well, darn it, I was going to show you the time of your life.
That's Clark, nice.
Amazing. Absolutely. You will never have somebody that captures the essence of Superman better than Christopher Reeve. It will never happen. Never happen. The best to ever do it. Let's see. Earth 301 says 47 triggering MAGA influencers wasn't on my bingo card, but it's peak content. After 8 years, I still trust in 47, and I think he's on some possible 10D chess for Epstein and the deep state. Patience. Well, as I've said, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I am a Trump supporter. I'm going to continue to be a Trump supporter. That's not going to change. But I'm very critical of President Trump. I'm not happy about what I'm seeing right now. And I think that he should be criticized for what's going on. So that's what's going to happen. Let's see. Both says they need to pop Hunter's dick out of their mouth. Fun with Collecting says his personality shift is amazing. He's the GOAT. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Vault 95 says Jeremy cuts his hair when he wants ramen noodles. Ministry of Wrong Things says Beardo on Bro Science versus Beardo on Tuesday nights. Man, holy shit. Holy shit. That's amazing. Oh, that's good. That is good. All right. Well, we're going to end it there, ladies and gentlemen. We got Mario Kart tonight over on my D-Day Cobra Gaming channel and Geeks and Gamers Play. So hopefully you guys and gals will tune into that. We also have the Alligator Enforcement Agent 199 shirts available till this Friday. So make sure you go over there and check those out. East Coast Toasted Boy says Reeve, Kane, and Cavill are my top 3 soups. Check out the guy from Superman and Lois because he's fantastic as well. Tyler Hecklin, I think's his name. Eric says, how much did Richard Donner pay you to be such a shill, Jeremy? What did they promise you? They just gave me great movies, man. 8 o'clock says, Superman does not need to be overly complicated with international wars, truth, justice, and the American way. 100%. Yeah, so check out the pinned comment if you're interested in some of the merch. And again, I want to be clear as day. I am a President Trump supporter. I will continue to be a President Trump supporter. I will be critical when I feel I need to be critical, but he's still the greatest president of all time, and that's not changing. This situation is messy, and it needs to be resolved, but hopefully more people that are Trump supporters will continue to criticize him on this because I think he needs to be criticized with his handling and his administration's handling of it. So thank you, guys. I'll see you tonight for Mario Kart. Have a good evening. And we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.